Hello, I'm Evan Brand, board certified holistic nutritionist and certified functional medicine practitioner, talking with you today about the signs and symptoms of Hashimoto's. There's probably 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 different things I could have put on this list, but I put the ones that are most common that I hear about in the clinic. I work with women, primarily. Men, they just don't admit that there's something wrong as often. So 80% of the client population that I'm seeing via phone and Skype consultations are women. And this is the main list of symptoms that we're seeing. So fatigue and exhaustion. Now with Hashimoto's, this is an autoimmune thyroid condition. And what happens is you've got these antibodies that are attacking the thyroid. If you've ever been diagnosed with hypothyroidism, 90% of the time it's actually Hashimoto's. So you definitely want to go get further testing with a functional medicine doc, a functional medicine practitioner. Maybe your endocrinologist will run these, but a lot of times they're not educated on these biomarkers. You can check my other videos for more information about testing for this, but fatigue and exhaustion is going to happen because when you have Hashimoto's, you're basically going from a hyperthyroid state, so an overactive thyroid, to hypo, an underactive. And you're fluctuating between the two, and so this is why fatigue and exhaustion are very, very common. And actually many women may get diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, but it's actually Hashimoto's. So this is why you have to get further testing to get to the root of this. Number two is going to be weight gain. This is going to be a big one. Now in some cases it could be weight loss if you're going super hyperthyroid for quite some time, but most of the time we're going to see that women have unexplained weight gain. It could be 10, 20, 30, 40, even 50 pounds. I've seen in some cases just due to Hashimoto's, just due to this autoimmune attack. And these are women that have been on, say, a Whole30 or a paleo, primal, whole foods diet. They're still gaining weight even despite not eating any type of processed sugar or processed foods. Next, we've got anxiety. I put dash depression. A lot of times these come hand in hand together, and that would make perfect sense because if you're going hyperthyroid, you're overstimulated. If you're hypothyroid, you're basically underperforming. So depression, you're going to be more on the hypo side. Anxiety, you could be on the hyper side, vice versa. A lot of people have these together, and sometimes this even progresses into panic attacks. Unfortunately, conventional medicine is going to put you on anti-anxiety drugs. So your lorazepams, your Xanax, things that are going to work on the GABA system. This is the GABA, the GABA system. This is a neurotransmitter that acts as the brakes of the brain. The good thing is you can use natural supplements. Chamomile tea is a good one. You've got L-theanine. I've got a supplement called PharmaGABA that I use with my female clients that you can chew. And you can take this GABA naturally, and as opposed to taking the drugs that are going to do the same thing, but with a lot of side effects and potential for addiction. Of course, the supplement's just a quick fix. You've always got to work towards the root cause, which is addressing the Hashimoto's. But in the meantime, you've got to get people feeling better so that they can make the necessary diet, lifestyle, emotional changes to get better. Next, we've got insomnia. So once again, this could happen with any case of Hashimoto's, because if we've got hyperthyroidism, what's happening is the heart rate's going to be higher, blood pressure can go up, the whole nervous system can be overstimulated. Insomnia is a big one. Once again, you can fix it, but you've got to figure out what's going on. Memory issues. So I've had some women think that they've got Parkinson's disease or Alzheimer's, or they're just completely losing their mind. Most of the time, that's not actually what's going on. In some rare cases it could be, but most of the time it's going to be a thyroid issue that could explain memory problems. So if you're thinking, where's my keys? I know my best friend's name, but I can't remember her name right now. It might not be the worst case scenario. It could be a thyroid issue that needs to be addressed. Cold or hot intolerance. This is a big one. So if you've got women, another thing too, not only do women have cold intolerances or heat intolerances, but also they'll have an intolerance for collars around their neck. And many women will report to me that they can only wear a V-neck. And that's a sign that we need further investigation, because if they have a typical collar that's coming up on the neck, especially with Hashimoto's, the thyroid gland can be enlarged or swollen, and it may be uncomfortable to have things around your neck. So necklaces, any type of normal collared shirt, any type of a big sweater, you know, those big sweaters with the, I'm sure there's a fancy name for those, but the sweaters that come up over the neck, women say they just can't wear those. That's a sign for me that we need to look into the thyroid. Also, along with that whole neck issue, we could also have difficulty swallowing. So if you're swallowing pills, they're getting stuck, or you feel like food's getting stuck, a big ball, the bolus in the esophagus, if that feels like it's getting stuck, could be a swollen thyroid. You got to get further investigation. And then lastly, infertility. So when you've got these thyroid issues, thyroid's helping to regulate the metabolism. Other hormones are at play here. So if you're infertile, if you're thinking about in vitro fertilization, which you're going to spend $10,000 to $15,000 on, you may not need to do that. If you just get your thyroid tested, you figure out if you've got Hashimoto's going on, you can start to resolve those issues, work on getting the antibodies down. You can address the gut, you can address the adrenals, which I discuss in another video. But many women, just as a side effect of me working on them with the Hashimoto's issue, they become pregnant all of a sudden. I had a female client in the UK last week. She goes, "Evan, I'm pregnant." I said, "Oh, wow. Yeah, I forgot to tell you that your fertility goes way up when we start working on improving thyroid function." So all of these things are symptoms. You're going to get drugs for these from conventional medicine. Drugs are not the answer. Maybe they're necessary in some cases to get through a hard time, especially depression, or if someone's got suicidal thoughts. Yeah, they may need a prescription to get them through that. But you've always got to work towards the root cause, because remember, depression is not a disease. As someone who struggled with this, I can tell you it's not a disease. It's a symptom of an underlying issue, which typically comes from the gut. So get the help you need that's going to help you get over that hump, but make sure you work towards the root cause. So this is Evan Brand signing out. If you'd like to schedule a functional medicine consult with me, I do phone and Skype. Just click on screen. I'll talk with you soon. Take care. Bye.